Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel. It is finally time, the Florida Home Series Final. That's cool. The action is going to be best in the chance. And joining us before the final gets underway, we have the best analyst whose prophecy almost came true. It's Nameless, and you were just a little away from what would have been an incredible prediction. But either way, this next final should be a good one.
Yeah, dude, I was so close. I tweeted out 3-2 OpTic Gaming in the first series. That came to fruition. Then I tweeted 3-2 New York. And when they forced that game 5 after that crazy nail-biting ending, was it 250 to 247 or something? I thought it was going to happen, but nope, they fall in the exact same fashion they did last time they played FaZe in a game 5.
It's worth mentioning this final is pretty special. We haven't seen OpTic Gaming, FaZe, these two historied organizations within Call of Duty Esports in a final for over 2 years now.
Wow.
Chance, it should be a good one, I hope. Fingers crossed. The action today has been great. 2 game 5s already. I'm praying we don't have a blowout.
Agreed. The action has been great, but I think hope is the key word for a good series, because the way I see it of like, yes, OpTic has clearly made improvements, but at the same time, this tournament, who have they beaten? The Paris, they've split series with the Ravens, and then they beat Toronto as well. The highest ranking team they've beaten is what? In 6th place, I think, in the CDL points right now. They have not played anyone at the tippy top, and now FaZe is going to be the team that gives us the clear-cut indication of exactly how good OpTic actually is.
But to that point, and I'm curious to get your kind of, I guess, feedback on that exact point from Chance. As a competitor, right, when you're in the zone, when you're in a tournament environment, I guess you're not really thinking about any of that stuff, right? So if you're playing for OpTic Gaming LA right now, where's your head at coming into this final?
We got to turn up for one series, right? Like, everybody has to go big. If you're players like TJ Halley and Dashy who have, beaten these players consistently before, you think back to when you were at the top and you go, I just got to be that player once again. I just have to turn up this one series. Like, let's start off strong, take this hard point and put them on their back feet. Like, that's where your mindset's at going into it. And you got to think that's kind of how the speeches are going on the team right now. There's always a hype-up speech from one player. He's like, yo, just come out, win this first map, and we'll be fine. And from what we've seen from OpTic Gaming LA is, like, they're capable. The players are shooting straight today.
Right.
And, they have a lot of teamwork. So it's definitely possible. One series.
Obviously, you talk about coming out strong and really putting the other team on the back foot. What OpTic Gaming is going to definitely need to do, because when you talk about the CDL as a whole for OpTic Gaming, it's started off pretty slow. Let's be honest. There's been a lot of people publicly coming out saying, yep, this team by the end of the year should be #1. They should be at the top, but it definitely has been a year full of struggles. We have a fantastic piece that highlights all of those struggles. Let's take a look.
Now we do know one thing, and that's OpTic Gaming are on 0 right now.
They gotta get the ball rolling. They have to win their next series and get that bounce back fast.
We got ourselves a banger of a matchup. It is the Battle of LA.
These guys need to start winning. They need to start winning now.
Careers are on the line in this very series.
5 seconds now for the win as Decimate. He starts to heat things up. And OpTic, there is no one around. It's looking to be a perfect round for the Gorillas. And Guavo's gone. The Gorillas taking it round 11.
And OpTic Gaming now, they are staring down the barrel of the loaded gun. Can OpTic get that reverse sweep? They have a mountain to climb.
They are down, but they are not out. And DJ and Cat break on through. 20 and 16. Kenny's positive by 2. Make it 3. The Battle of LA will continue.
Dashy immediately picking up the 2-piece. 20 seconds remain. OpTic have come alive. That's the third for Dashy.
It's OpTic Gaming, it's green, it's all good, and with 2 points is all they need. They've stolen it away, and they've pushed it to a game number 5.
Dashy finds one. What a way to open up what could be the final round.
It's Dashy. The key player is the very player that ends this series.
Can OpTic Gaming turn things around here in LA?
They're not going to be the better team from Minnesota. They're definitely not there yet. Right now, OpTic Gaming, the feed is theirs. They're inside the point. 3 more and it's theirs. Minnesota close to the hill, but not for long enough. OpTic Gaming right now, a different animal. I mean, this is the OpTic we expected to see at the start of the year.
3 players trying to force their way through to blue, and they are getting straight out, Ben.
The lead is just getting out of control for Minnesota. They need to stop this bleeding. They need to cap a hill, but they're still unable to do so. I mean, they're blowing Minnesota out here. OpTic Gaming dominates Minnesota Røkkr.
OpTic Gaming storming through and running them over.
LA, I am sorry, because I did not think we were going to get this out of OpTic Gaming.
You talk about an absurd turnaround for OpTic LA.
Finally, OpTic Gaming have woken up.
A matchup that I don't think many people saw as a semifinal here at the home series in Los Angeles.
They beat a good team last night in Minnesota, and they own the entire series. This team is going to be tough. TJ starting to light it up. That's going to be a 3x multi-kill for him. All green right now. Where has this been all year, right?
That's a great question, Joe.
That's a great question.
It's Dashy! Big Bruce burying Empire. OpTic strike first.
TJ once again for OpTic having such a big impact. Pulls out the pistol, gets on more. TJ with 4 FB.
OpTic, can they find any kind of opening? What a win for TJ it is, but they've got to get on the point. Is it going to be enough? Someone's got to get in there with him. He takes another, he loses it. He loses it. Unbelievable. Empire do it in the final moment and pull the map away from OpTic. Are you kidding? OpTic had that game in the bag. The only thing they had to do was hold one flag. One flag is all they needed. One! I think we got another nail biter in the book, Joe.
Yeah,
203, 203. In they go. It's Clayster with the multi-kills again as Clay gets 3. Slash is got to try and contest, but Clay goes huge.
A few players already rotated for OpTic. Slasher can't get in.
Get there.
This might be it.
Get there.
They rotated. Why did they rotate? Dallas Empire. They win 3-1.
What was that?
Maybe some miscommunication from the OpTic side, but they had all the momentum.
What do you think of this LA squad now?
Dude, I mean, you look at that team coming into this year and even on paper, and they're like 5 of the best Call of Duty players to play the game. And how aggressive they were in map 1, they literally just like played our game and smoked us with it. So honestly, the improvement on OGLA has been awesome, and I honestly think they're going to be a contender at the end of the year.
Florida home series final just a few moments away. Of course, that piece, a wonderful kind of insight to the struggles of OpTic Gaming LA so far this season. But finally, can they get themselves back on top of the CDL? They find themselves in the grand final. But we see, obviously, the big conversations around role changes. I know Muddog put out a Twitter video on OpTic Gaming's Twitter. Nemus, I've got to ask you, okay? Gino, how big of an impact has he truly been on this team, do you think?
I think Chino brings a lot to a squad. His communication is second to none. This guy is talking nonstop. He's motor mouth, dude. He's just babbling off every single thing that's going on the map. And I think they probably needed a little bit of a leadership role. And it's probably allowed Slasher to actually start slaying a bit more. Okay. And also, you know, they got rid of their dead weight. JCap obviously wasn't putting up the numbers. And Chino can come in and he's not playing outstanding, but he's still getting the right amount of kills. And it's helping them out tremendously. You could see it translate in their gameplay almost immediately.
Yeah, Chino's done very well.
And that's like, it's a great point, and Chino has been great. Like, any team with Chino on it is gonna have value. Like, he is a fantastic player, but I'm still not convinced, right? I'm still gonna be doubting OpTic until they beat like the best of the best. And their biggest problem from the start is like, how well can you get these guys to like try and practice? It's like you have all this talent, they're not putting the time and effort in, and it's not like translating. So I don't know if Chino has some vibes to help out in that regard. And yes, they have made improvements, but I still think there's a bigger underlying issue that like Chino himself, I don't think can solve. So maybe that'll be a fix in the past 2 weeks, and the roster change is going to fix it and all that, and they'll win this finals. But until I see it, I don't believe it.
Well, a quick glance, of course, at our Game Fuel keys to victory. There was OpTic Gaming LA, and you've been doing such a good job all weekend with Game Fuel keys to victory. So a massive thank you for you providing all the fantastic information. And when we talk about OpTic Gaming, Namos, what stood out to you the most?
Yeah, so I mean, right there I wrote they need to match FaZe's pressure and hardpoint. Everybody needs to be on point and contribute, because we've seen them go to the wire in these hardpoints, in these DOMs, and there's always a player or two that are underperforming. Like we've seen Chino drop in terrible games at times. We've seen TJ Halley even be a little bit inconsistent throughout this tournament. Just a different player each time.
Sure.
And that's not going to cut it against FaZe. Like you might be able to do that against the Royal Ravens or some of the middle of the pack teams. You can't do it against FaZe. They all five need to be on point for this series to take down FaZe.
And then moving on, we'll take a look at Atlanta FaZe's game fuel keys to victory. Focus on the search, counter the TJ push, and avoid Dashy's sniper.
Yep.
It sounds easy when you put it down on paper, Davis, but in reality, that could be pretty tough.
I mean, you know, simple enough. That's what they have to do, though. Like in the respawns, they have a clear advantage, and even in search statistically, they have a huge advantage. But if you look at OpTic Gaming throughout this tournament, they've been absolutely fantastic in search and destroy. So, like, if FaZe just destroy them in that first search, this series will be extremely hard for OpTic, and they'll probably close it out 3-1. So like they have to focus on that search, shut them down, get creative, make sure TJ Halley is not going crazy, getting pushed up, and avoid that sniper, and it'll be okay.
And then obviously, Chance, when we talk maps and modes, is there anything specific that jumps out to you there? Anything specifically do you think either team needs to ban, get rid of?
I'm not even going to take this the ban route. I'm going to take what I want to watch. Okay. I want to watch Arclov S&D, and I want to watch Piccadilly S&D. I don't care which is 2, which is 5, but like
two sniper maps.
It is the sniper map, dude. Like we've seen Dashy do a little bit of work, I'd say, on Arclov, quite a bit of work on Piccadilly. I want to see that head-to-head. I want to see those guys throw down. I know both of those maps, at the very least, FaZe is happy to play. And I'm pretty sure OpTic's happy to play in too, because we've seen both Piccadilly and Arclov this weekend. So give me the heavy hitters. I want the boomstick rivalry. That's what I care about.
You just want to see the amazing snipes.
That's it. Yes.
I love it, Chance. You're a fantastic sniper yourself, so it makes sense. You want to watch the best of the best. I say fantastic sniper. You're pretty decent, that's for sure. But the Florida Home Series final about to get underway. Nameless, thank you so much as always for joining us in the pre-game talk. Always fantastic to hear your insight. But as I said, game number 1 of the Florida Home Series final about to get underway. It's going to be an Azir Cave hardpoint. Chance, any predictions here for game 1?
I mean, okay, well, it's Azir Cave. I didn't realize that was going to be the first map. The last 2 times we've watched FaZe play on Azir Cave, Simp has broken the kill record consecutively. He dropped 50 the last time we saw him play on it. It was 49 the time before that. So my prediction, Ben, Simp's going to drop 51, and OpTic are somehow going to win the map.
Okay.
I mean, no, FaZe is going to win this out. I'm pretty confident.
I was going to say, that's a very bold prediction. But game 1 is underway. We're going to start off on board with OpTic Gaming LA. There was a quick glance and a couple of kills already in the kill feed for them. Beezy, he will drop, and a great start for OpTic.
That is the most annoying spot I've ever seen someone play on the opening break. Slasher just up in the little top tower right there. But either way, just 1 kill, but the hill time obviously clear cut going the way of OpTic. And actually, something that's interesting for the side of OpTic, now that I think about it, Chino can run an M4. Like, this was a big debate, and I think they had to switch around a bunch of different times between Dashy, Slasher, and Chino of who's running the M4 where. And of course, in the map like Azir Cave, give it to all of them. Why not?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. That's the choice. Is OpTic Gaming. A solid start so far, 25-0, but it's all about the fight for the spawns, and, well, TJ may have just solidified them for OpTic LA.
Yeah, I was going to say, on point, OpTic making sure that they stabilize this rotation, making sure that no one pushes up too aggressively, no one's throwing their life away right now. It's about those main slayers up front getting those kills, and TJ, again, just doing his job, just hanging out in the back, waiting for that hill to pop. But either way, fairly close game we have so far, and nothing really crazy standing out statistically just yet.
And we've got maybe a slow start from Selling 0-3, but with just 1 hill under our belts, he can turn that around on peak 2 if he so decides. And well, just like that, everyone falls for OpTic Gaming LA. A free break from Atlanta. They don't have spawn control yet, though, so they will need to try and push through the hill.
Yeah, nothing statistically standing out until Abeezy goes on a 5 spree and admittedly does get shut down, but FaZe, of course, they're working from the difficult situation of flooding in from the front, and quite a bit of success they're having as well. Again, you talk about the comfortability of ARs on the side of OpTic. Obviously, FaZe is going to be just as comfortable, if not more so.
And again, I want to hammer home the point Nameless kind of brought up is it's so important for OpTic Gaming LA to start strong. You cannot give Atlanta FaZe any momentum whatsoever in this final. So far, tied game, 33-33. We're going to rotate over towards P3 in about 5 seconds' time. And again, kind of to your point, Chance, a very, very close game. But this could be the turning point here for Atlanta FaZe. They could start to build themselves a lead.
And I just want to give the man some love. Priest just went crazy on that pass hill. I don't know how many kills he has at the moment, but he was racking them up. But either way, we did just witness a hill where OpTic clear-cut won the rotation over. Didn't really get a ton of time. FaZe did fantastic. Now we have a situation where FaZe is rotating over, but now it's Slasher that was picking up a couple kills on the break. And hopefully for OpTic, they can contest or break through a little bit.
Speaking on Slasher, there's a quick glance at his POV. He'll shut down Simp. The trade was very, very quick as Chino tries to go around the flank. And BZ having none of that nonsense, turns and burns. Atlanta FaZe building themselves what could be the biggest lead we've seen so far here in game 1. 58-35, still 20 seconds left. As I say that though, OpTic Gaming LA right back into the hill. Slasher unable to find much, but here's a quick glance at the rotation towards our new hill.
Really though, just a good job being done by both teams of making sure that, hey, if we don't win the rotation, we're at the very least being scrappy. But the bad news for OpTic, they're going to have to do the exact same thing once again. And this is a hill that maybe is a little bit more difficult because you can see FaZe, they already got 3 or 4 bodies in and around the hill. And potentially, if Selling gets the timing right, he can go big on the flank.
Well, if you're not the gaming fan, one saving grace is Simp isn't necessarily at record-breaking pace right now, but we've seen him in the past just turn things on just so quickly. It can just take him a couple of minutes sometimes to really warm up, if you will. But for now, at least Simp is being contained. The score very, very close and reflects that. 68-51. 30 seconds left on this hill. Slasher finds himself a quick double as Dashy OpTic Gaming break into the hill.
And this is great stuff from OpTic so far, honestly. We're able to get inside the hill, 20 seconds left. They're probably not going to be able to secure all of it, but again, it's all about that damage mitigation. If you don't win the early rotation, chip away as much time as you possibly can. And more importantly, looking at the kill feed, make sure Simp does not get hot.
Yes, you want to keep him contained as much as you can, as I mentioned before. Of course, Simp, kill record holder, 50 kills on this map, 49 kills also on this map. He can be a menace and a nuisance on zero caves. We rotate now towards our final hill of our first rotation. It's advantage Atlanta FaZe, but it's a small advantage, 84-65. It truly has been back and forth action. Both teams playing as zero cave very, very well. Credit to Slasher though, leading the charge for OpTic Gaming LA, 14-7 as things stand. Can he keep up that pace though? That's the big question.
I mean, effectively, this is a map where, 3 hills, you can almost expect at times there to be a near full 60 lockdown, and so far there has been none of that. Both teams doing fantastic, trying to break through. This time, though, you see Dashy up front was able to pick up a couple, which means the clearance should be there for the side of OpTic, and yes, they have to trade away a few seconds maybe jumping out of the hill, but at the same time, a ton of time has gone their way, and they're able to retake that lead.
And of course, don't forget just how important this hill is. You can control the spawns throughout P1 and P2, of course, of our new rotation. You might be able to pick up a ton of time, and that's something OpTic Gaming has done so well here, not giving Atlanta FaZe any time to break through. You think back to our second hill of the game, Atlanta FaZe just pushed straight through the front door, if you will, broke the setup very, very quickly. OpTic Gaming not allowing them to do that here, and that fight for spawns is going to be crucial, so keep your eye on that minimap. Those white arrows trying to push as far to the right as possible.
And OpTic are actually going for an interesting sort of break. You got 2 green arrows at the bottom side of the map, potentially thinking about wiggling their way all the way over to flank to get inside the hard point. You got to be very careful and make sure you don't lose the spawns. That, of course, is normally the main AR's job. That's why Slasher, number 4 in the minimap, is always going to hang out on the right side.
Now look at balance. You have to be careful, as you mentioned, not to push too far forward and then lose spawn control, and it might be number 7 on the minimap. That's actually going to be Celium trying to push through, but he was hunted down. While Quavo does a good job finding Major Maniac. BZ trying to push through. That's unsuccessful, and with 15 seconds left at P1, OpTic Gaming still fighting over the scrap time and still with control of the spawns. Now we need to see a better hold than what we saw in our first rotation here from OpTic, because they find themselves in an identical situation.
And this is the break. This is the 1v1 gunfight between the 2 main ARs, Slasher and Major Maniac. And of course, it looks like Slasher, he's just going to go straight towards the hill. So Major Maniac is back here for free. I don't know where the players for OpTic are going to be spawning up, and it honestly might be nearby.
I don't think they realize, because no one has fallen just yet. It's really going to come down to the first player for OpTic to spawn, and then say, hey, you might have pressure behind. Unfortunately, I think that call out won't come through in time. Major Maniac, the freest of breaks you're ever going to see. Once again, OpTic Gaming unsuccessful at holding P2.
And that might be a big moment in this game. This could have been OpTic potentially starting to run away with it. They could have, jumped up to a 60, 70, 80-point lead. Yeah. Instead, FaZe might be able to take it back. So, again, man, when you're playing against a lot of teams in this league, but especially one like FaZe, you cannot afford to make mistakes. It is little moments like that that can really cost you.
All credit to TJ so far in a great game, 24 and 18, leading the lobby in kills. Had a pretty slow start to the year, if I'm honest, but I mean, he's a big-time player, big-time moments, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. One of the biggest rivalries in Call of Duty esports history. OpTic Gaming versus Atlanta FaZe in this Florida Home Series Grand Final. Dashi looking to try and make something happen over towards Soccer Field. Won't find a pick, but again, gents, this game so close. 140-140, tied up. Couldn't ask for a better map play.
I believe that is the sixth lead exchange that we have had so far in this game, and well, OpTic again probably have made the biggest mistake so far, but hey, the mistake is behind them and they still have the lead. Fighting tooth and nail for it, and this is a hill they did not have a ton of success on last time around. This time, though, been completely on point. Again, Slasher has been incredible so far this game. Even Dashi with the sub. Yes, it might be a little bit strange for anyone that only paid attention last year, but he's doing quite a bit of work as well.
Hey, he's putting in a good shift for the squad. He's to have maybe a few more players to hunt down, but opts to leave them. Doesn't want to try and even play for the kills. He recognizes the importance of that rotation, and that is a smart play from Dashi. It could be even better if he finds the kill inside cave, which he does. OpTic Gaming making the right plays at the right time. If you're a Green Wall fan, you love to see that.
And these are actually great spawns for the green wall as well, because they're going to make sure they stick on the right side. They don't have a ton of pressure up the front. It's really just Slasher sort of by himself here for the moment. And you can see he just wants to stay alive. His teammates are not here with him. Now you flood out and try to get those kills and push FaZe even farther back into their spawn.
Unfortunately for Slasher, too many nades thrown out. 184, 158. OpTic Gaming LA still inside the hill. Bravo will fall. Slasher, can he hold off the Atlanta FaZe wave of aggression towards the hill? Not for long. Selly in his turn to try and break in for FaZe, but unsuccessfully so. OpTic Gaming LA putting on a hell of a fight here in game one. If you thought this series was going to be a blowout, you might be wrong.
And this is their game to lose. You have one more important, potentially 1v1 gunfight on the right side of the map. And frankly, it is massive for Major Maniac to pull this off. And frankly, in a 1v2 situation, he's got a lot of chops that he has to work out for. At the very least, stay alive. The nade, though, on point. Slasher ends up taking him down.
Forces him out of the position he was trying to hold, and only kill as free as it comes. 201, 174 as we rotate through to the final hill of our second rotation. It's OpTic Gaming LA in control with the perfect setup. But how long can they hold? Can Atlanta FaZe break through? It may start here with a BZ. There's the pick onto Chino. Now as he pushes over towards mid-cut, is he going to have to wait for his teammates? Looks like that's going to be the play. The smokes are out. The nades are out. 3 down. This could be go time for Atlanta FaZe.
Hey, you see it, BZ. He wants nothing more than a sprint to the hill. And, well, he at least makes the cross to the truck and, well, just gets shut down immediately.
That's a fantastic pick for Chino, and an important one at that. It keeps OpTic Gaming LA in control of the hill. They cannot win it here, but they can put this game almost out of touch. Bravo drops inside the hill, but there should be a teammate there ready to trade. And the way OpTic Gaming LA has held this side of the map so well throughout the rotations we've seen so far is incredible. And they're already ready and waiting on P1. Atlanta FaZe, you gotta play perfectly.
I mean, it's honestly beyond perfect as well. Hey, in my mind, OpTic Gaming has pretty much sealed the deal in this game. They have a lot of control in the first hard point where they've had a ton of success. Admittedly, they don't have the spawns for new, so it's not the perfect scenario, but still 15 seconds away. FaZe not really close to even the P1 hard point. They're going to have to flood so aggressively. OpTic could probably flip spawns if they really wanted to, but Chino the last one up.
Not over just yet. Chino, oh, he finds Sue. Priest the falls TJ. He's going to find his 37th kill of the game. Is that enough for OpTic Gaming to hold P1 for 10 more seconds? It's all they'll need to take game one here in the Florida Home Series final. 5 more seconds. Slasher inside the hill. The pre-fire coming through. That should surely be just enough, but no. Atlanta FaZe break through with 20 seconds remaining on P1. They still have the spawns for P2. It's close, but it's not over yet.
Sim's got the cross. He's got the cross to the hill. They're expecting OpTic Gaming to flood this hill to try to grab those final 3 seconds. But you can see OpTic, no one towards the new hill should we see a rotation. It looks like OpTic not close enough to P1 Ben. We will see another hill.
Dashi with 2. He tries to play for the final few moments of scrap time. Puts OpTic Gaming 2 points away. But they will need to at least contest this hill. For Atlanta FaZe, they can close things out here. Here's a glance at what Celium sees. He has to make sure no one hits the flank, and that's an important first kill. Looking over towards yellow, 2 players from OpTic Gaming pushing that side, one of which is Quavo. Unfortunately, Celium falls, and this could be the chance for OpTic Gaming to break. Dashi with 1, Slasher looking for the trade. He'll find Sim. Atlanta FaZe still with the favorable spawns, still putting pressure on the hill. Have they done enough to at least see another hill? OpTic Gaming LA have. If they chose to, they could just rotate now, but knowing them, they're going to want to try and seal the deal. Here is Dashi Dashy slides forward. He's shut down. The pressure's still coming in for OpTic Gaming LA. You have to make sure, though, you don't get too tunnel vision. Again, a simple rotation here could win them the game.
FaZe has to rotate. FaZe has to rotate, and they got to keep OpTic out, but no one right now for FaZe is working their way across the map. 7 seconds left. It's a dead sprint. Someone's got to go, but OpTic Gaming, the coverage is there. You can't get past Dashy when he's hanging out right here, and OpTic Gaming against all odds, Ben, has sealed the deal and taken the map off FaZe on a 0 of all maps.
250, 232. Yourself, Nameless, you both called it. You have to start off strong against Atlanta FaZe in this final, and it is exactly what they do. Big credit to TJ and Dashy from OpTic Gaming LA. Two of the best performances I think you've seen out of either of those players all year. TJ finishes 42 kills, 33 deaths. Dashy right behind him, 39 kills, 32 deaths. Felt for a minute there like we were watching Black Ops 4, Chance.
That was some purely nutty stuff, and again, you talk like, I was half jokingly saying of like, I expect FaZe to win. It's a map they've been great on. Simp has been fantastic, but really there's two things that were going on in that game in my mind. One, the comfortability of, again, you get an AR in Chino's hand. It's just a map that I have to imagine that's what he would prefer to be doing, generally speaking. And of course, OpTic, the past 2 weeks they've been scrimming, have been figuring this out, but it's also, if Simp's the guy that's going crazy, you got to make sure that even if you don't shut him down, you match what his level is, and not only TJ, but Dashy did exactly that, just kept up just enough, and that is a phenomenal game coming out from OpTic.
You could not have asked for a cleaner game one there, realistically, considering the competition for OpTic Gaming LA. There's a glance at some of the stats. Again, the highlight for me there is TJ, 42 kills, 33 deaths. An unbelievable performance in game one there out of him. Simp did kind of catch up to that record-breaking slaying pace, 39 kills, 30 deaths. He finishes that, but unfortunately, he started heating up just a little too late. We'll take a look at our Scuff Gaming play of the game as well. And Chance, I think it's only fair really to show the end of that map, if you will. Just again, the discipline from OpTic Gaming LA. Sometimes teams get very tunnel visioned when they only need a few more points, and they'll keep hitting the hill, and the next thing you know, the other teams spawn behind you. They're ready and waiting on the new hill, and games can spiral completely out of control.
And I will say, I think towards the end, like the pressure game from OpTic was done like perfectly right.
Yes.
You had two different players at different moments sliding the hill for not even half a second. I mean, they basically died immediately, but it took that 3-point lead just to one, just to chew away. And another thing they did a fantastic job of is they knew the spawns well enough to know that, hey, they had maybe 3 players effectively stacked up in and around yellow. They didn't have to hard rotate to try to lock down the spawns for new. They just knew, let's build a front line, make sure no one from FaZe sneaks past, and it'll be a free rotation where we just sit in the hill for literally 1 second. So they handled the pressure very well. They did a fantastic job in game number 1. And I will say, Ben, I'm genuinely impressed because they still made really the only mistake of the entire game was letting Major Maniac get through the cracks. And even with that, they still pull off the win, and it could have been even more.
I'm going to be honest, Chance, if you told me before this weekend that the Florida Home Series final would be OpTic Gaming, FaZe, and the Azir Cave would be map 1 and OpTic would win that, I would have called you probably insane. But that's a situation we find ourselves in. It feels like, I know you mentioned it before when we're in commercial break coming into the final, feels like we've gone back all the way to the Advanced Warfare era, if you will. These two juggernauts of Call of Duty Esports back and forth in finals, and I mean, OpTic Gaming come out 1-0. Here's a look at Quickscope presented by US Air Force, and you can see statistically throughout the year, Atlanta FaZe have just been dominant in comparison to OpTic Gaming LA.
And again, this is the real test if we figure out exactly how good OpTic is going to be, right? Or at least we get a much better idea of it, because again, the competition they face in the tournament, like, yes, a lot of these teams look better. Toronto looked fantastic compared to where they were just maybe a few months ago, let's say. But even still, they haven't beaten or gone toe-to-toe with any of the top teams yet, so we haven't seen it. But that was a hell of a taste of a game number 1 to potentially see what the final form of OpTic might look like.
I know you've been pretty vocal saying you don't want to just call it just yet. You're still unsure of how much OpTic Gaming has improved, and we've basically both said, well, we need to see them against one of the big dogs in the league, and Atlanta FaZe definitely one of the big dogs. And great game 1. In terms of maps and modes, though, for the series, brought it up before. I mean, the 2 maps that you really want to see was a Piccadilly Search. Unfortunately, you don't get that. Game 5, of course, being the St. Petro Search and Destroy. But in terms of the rest of the maps there, Chance, anything jump out to you?
Well, I still don't have the 2-monitor setup, Ben, so I just can't see what they are. If you read them out to me, I'll give you high-tier analysis, Ben.
Too late. The graphic is gone. I believe it. It's
was it Arklov map 2?
It was the Arklov map 2 at the very least. So we may get to see at least a little bit of those sniper fights.
And I think this is one of the maps that FaZe is on. Well, I say weakest on. They're still very good at Arklov S&D. It's just one of the only maps that they've shown really any degree of weakness that teams have been able to take rounds, if not games, off of them. So I like the pick and ban so far coming out from OpTic. Obviously, they knew more about Azir Cave than I did, since they had the information of, they get to scrim it all the time.
Sure. CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel. Not disappointing so far. Both semifinals go the distance to a Game 5, and probably were a fair amount of fans out there that saw this as the final, so that 3-0, never mind.
I was one of those people.
Gonna be honest, Jets, I was almost one of those people. There's a little bit of me that said, all right, maybe OpTic Gaming could make it interesting, but we'll wait and see. It's a fantastic start for the Green Wall. They go 1-0 up here in the Florida Home Series final. Can they give themselves a big cushion, though, if they can win this Arklov Peak Search and Destroy chance? I mean, dare I say it, you might really fancy them to win the whole thing.
Absolutely. And I will say, just to touch on it for a moment, a long-term storyline, I think, from the FaZe team is teams eventually will begin to catch up to each other in the respawns. That's the way it goes. We've seen that progression this year of all the teams are starting to look better right around that halfway point. It's the S&D that eventually is going to set yourselves apart. And this is the reason when the team got built at the start of the year that I thought FaZe was going to be on top of the community the entire year. Because Search and Destroy, these guys are expected to be disgusting, but you got to hit those shots, Simp. I mean, not actually. That's an incredibly difficult shot, but it would have been nice.
The Simp Dashy snipe fight, one that is exciting to think about. Has Dashy got a sniper rifle out? Number 5 on the mini-map. Based off positioning, you'd probably say yes. But either way, don't think we're going to see Simp versus Dashy just yet. For now, though, it's OpTic Gaming covering mid-map. TJ continuing the fine form he found himself in Game 1. Finds first blood.
Yeah, I would say he has X-ray vision. I'm pretty sure he just tracked that player's name through the smoke. That would be my best guess, but very happy for the first blood. Obviously, TJ put up big numbers in the hard point. Gotta see the same thing from him and S&D. That I'll put high.
Risa knows TJ's up there. Not finding the angle just yet. Of course, still trying to watch the cross wallbanging bomb. He actually finds a pick there onto Simp with a nade. So this, a 5 versus 3. Chino shuts down Priesta. This Major Maniac and Celium up for Atlanta FaZe. 2v5, not going to be easy. Celium does have bomb in hand, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to get much more done. OpTic Gaming take round 1.
Get first blood, don't overpeak, don't make a mistake, win the round. OpTic on point there is falling into the netherworld. But I will say, I'm actually very curious as to what all of FaZe's defensive setups are going to be. This is the 3rd or 4th time we've watched OpTic play this map this weekend. We know they prefer maybe 80% to 20%. They'd rather go to that site, and Slasher is always going to watch the flank. Something we've seen a few teams have success on, I think, who was it? Toronto maybe had the best example of this, of occasionally 5-stack the A site. Yeah, you know OpTic prefer it, just 5-stack it. You don't have to worry about the flank because you know Slasher's not going to be there.
Yeah, it was a great counter strat, and it worked a couple of times. Simp looking for first blood. There it is. The pick onto Dashy. 5v4. The Slasher also drops a bees. He finds that pick. Read him like a book. Major Maniac also shuts down TJ, so round 1 was dominant for OpTic Gaming. Round 2, very dominant for Atlanta FaZe. The hit marker doesn't matter. That round was over quick.
In terms of sniper battles, obviously it's going to be 1-0 in favor of Simp. Obviously that's 2 defensive round wins in a row. But again, I just want to know what sort of defensive strats FaZe are going to bring to the table every single round. They obviously identified Slasher there, took him down. The first blood, knowing where Dashy's going to snipe from, is also nice. It's going to be interesting, the little meta game of how many micro adjustments both of these teams are going to make through the course of the game.
OpTic Gaming LA back on the attack in terms of your stats. Nothing jumping out just yet. TJ 2-1 on the side of Atlanta FaZe. You've got Major Maniac and Abizi both sitting at 2-1 as well. Atlanta FaZe though on the attack. They've eyed up the 8th site. Everyone's going to be there. Simp snipes out. Can he find the first blood? If you slow peek that, you are a dead man.
Well, he slow peeked a little bit and then jumped just at the very end, but again, you talk about micro adjustments. You have to know the aim down to the last detail, knowing that's when he's going to take the gunfight. But FaZe, this slow approach, they've got 2 players in the trenches starting to work their way up.
Dashy find the pick. First blood still on the cards here. Atlanta FaZe slowing it down. Gonna be number 8, Simp, who's watching the flank as well. No Dashy sniping. Chino's watching the cross. Easy has managed to sneak through. Nice angle from Chino. Can't find the pick though. Dashy has to be careful knowing there's a lot of pressure coming to the right. Slasher meanwhile trying to hit the flank. Simp is ready and waiting. Slasher trying to make as little noise as possible, but I guarantee you Simp will have heard that. Easy does find a pick onto Chino though. Team's still so slow. 37 seconds. Bomb, of course, has been planted. EJ isn't going to spot a BZ. There's the pick on the flank. A big one from Simp. Slasher falls. Door open. Simp still with snipe in hand. Dashy still with a snipe up as well. Managed to land a couple of shots, but unfortunately for Dashy, left in the 1v2. There's going to be no way he wins that round.
Oh, and Simp just a little bit too fast with it, and I will say, Simp 2, Dashy 0, I think at least in the straight-up head-to-head, but Simp made the play that wins them the round. Slasher goes on the flank. You see him crouch walking the entire time. I'm pretty sure Simp knew he was there based on the corner he was playing, but the important thing is he has to make sure he at least trades out the kill. And Simp, again, doing the smart thing, not taking the fight until his teammate died. I know it sounds like a weird thing to bait out your teammates, but he's got the sniper. He's the guy that has to watch over the bomb in those final seconds, so it's better that he stays alive rather than his teammate.
Agree more. Atlanta FaZe, of course, 2-1 up now. As we hop on board with DJ. OpTic Gaming. We saw a couple of times where they played this map. They don't mind just stacking over towards B. If First Blood field is going to be important. TJ, I don't think he spotted Celium. That's number 7 for Atlanta FaZe. Is the rotation going to come through, though? A fair amount of players playing over towards the A site for Atlanta FaZe defensively. There could be some free picks mid-map if OpTic Gaming aren't careful. Priesta finds the First Blood onto Quavo. No trade coming through. In actual fact, it's a BZ that gets himself a second.
Yeah, now it looks like OpTic just effectively left the bomb in no man's land. There's going to be 18 angles they have to check before they can go and pick up that bomb. So desperately are in need of some kills. And really none of them in a fantastic spot to make a play because frankly, FaZe just don't have to overcommit or take the easy gunfight as if BZ lights 2 players up and gets Priesta the help for that second to last kill.
Such a simple round here by Atlanta FaZe's standards. Slasher left for the 1 versus 5. There's no way he's clutching this up. A few moments shortly before he falls. We get 1 kill, which is good for confidence, but he won't find anything else. Atlanta FaZe starting to pull away here in game 2. 3 rounds to 1, the advantage.
Yeah, and this is 2 rounds of analysis in advance, but I think the next time FaZe is on defense, if I were them, I'd try to 5-stack that A site. Like, again, OpTic prefers it 80-20, something along those lines. They've just shown the B push, and they just got obliterated trying to do it.
Didn't work
I'm personally not expecting the OpTic to try that again, right? I think they'll go back to the old faithful over towards A. So, again, yes, that's not until the next round, but I want to see FaZe do something a little bit creative.
Well, we'll wait and see. Through round number 5 first. Atlanta FaZe, of course, back on the attack. For them, looks like, again, another A push going to be coming through. Again, Simp will be the player watching the flank. So for me, this is really going to be, can Dashy find himself a First Blood, or will it maybe be Simp? Dashy sniping out, Skirt doesn't find it there. He knows he has to be careful. If Simp's watching that lane, they can't give him anything.
Yeah, I was going to say the sniping battle in the trenches, it's whoever gets there first to pre-aim is going to have that advantage. So as soon as Dashy misses that shot, pick a new angle, and it looks like, yeah, he's going to lean towards trenches side, but not as aggressively as before.
You know, may actually have to be careful because there's a chance he could fall to his side. For him, Quavo just wants to watch it. So Dashy pushes forward and giving so much respect, but that's why we hype him up with the sniper rifle. A quick flick and Major Maniac falls. Still a few players from Atlanta FaZe up. Gino pushes towards site. This now a 3 versus 2. Simp and Abizi still alive for Atlanta FaZe as Simp pushes forward. We try and find a pick here. Dashy, of course, is very much still alive. TJ falls. 2 versus 2. Abizi shuts down Gino. Blink of an eye. It's all down to Dashy, the hit marker. So unfortunate. With 14 seconds left and Dashy so weak, he has to readjust. Can he find the pick on a Simp? He does. 1v1. This is still very, very doable for Dashy as he picks up the AR. Abizi still on the site. A crucial round for OpTic Gaming LA. Shots going down and Dashy clutches up. Big time for OpTic Gaming LA. You felt for a moment chance that the hit marker would have been the curse of the round, but it doesn't affect him. He picks up Simp on the bomb and clutches up as well. OpTic Gaming within a round again of Atlanta FaZe.
And that is a big boy round, Ben. That is both teams going back and forth, making the bigger play, whether it was Dashy hitting the tough shot at the start or Abizi and Simp almost pulling off a near instantaneous 2v3. I mean, getting both the kills in quick succession, but Dashy, the biggest boy of them all in that round, I will say.
I believe that also puts the sniper battle score at 2-1, still advantage Simp, but she did get one back there. And obviously,
I was gonna, just in the head-to-head, though. Just in the head-to-head. Not overall. Dashy's had a couple more.
But I know you mentioned in terms of strategy here, what you expected to see this round was maybe a stack over towards defense on A. You don't see that. And OpTic Gaming don't actually hard push A. They say, well, it didn't work last time. Let's readjust. Maybe make some small adjustments here and see if we can have more success playing over towards the B side. They get a first blood. I guess that's an improvement already.
And here's the difference, though. Major Maniac is going on a fairly fast flank. And, of course, as I say fast, he basically stops moving, so never mind. A lot of pressure on the FaZe members that are in and around B. Dashy, though.
Hello?
One of the worst spots you could sit in, you know, but he tried it, and he's dead.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. His teammates, of course, didn't have full control of that top. There's still a chance that it was a FaZe player up there. And, of course, unluckily for him, there was. Priester shuts down Quavo. The trade didn't come through quick enough. Finally, Slasher gets up top. Shuts him down. Bomb, of course, was planted, so 25 seconds left. Chino shuts down Celium. Now, all of a sudden, 3v2. Major Maniac and Simp both alive. Major Maniac falls. Simp for the 1 versus 3. Unfortunately for him, OpTic know exactly where he is. Chino, there's a little bit of respect there. Doesn't want to reach out straight away. May find one, but the flank inevitably coming through. Good round from OpTic Gaming LA. Tied up, 3-3.
And that's a good strat call coming out from OpTic, right? Like, again, I was trying to be the big brain and be like, hey, it didn't work the first time, don't try it again. But OpTic said, hey,
brain.
I know we got obliterated the first time, but there's no way FaZe expect us to do this twice, right? And I will say, generally speaking, the spot that Dashy was sitting in is a perfect way to watch like the flank coming around the A side. The one problem is, if you don't have control top window, you're sitting duck. That's exactly where Priester was, so I don't know, maybe space it out a little bit better next time.
I'm not sure if maybe it was just a communication thing. Dashy assumed his teammates had cleared out up top. They hadn't. Priester was ready and waiting, finds the pick. But anyway, moving on. Round 7. Our game all tied up. It's Atlanta FaZe back on the attack. A site. Going to be the site of choice early here. Atlanta FaZe push up towards. No snipe in hand this round. Change it up. Use assault rifle. aBeZy crawling forward. Taking a lot of concussions to the face. Just a little in front of him. As the game just slows down to a snail's pace. First blood for Simp.
Quavo's just going to get dropped immediately, not having the best of games right now, but you push through Trench, you're going to fall, and as soon as Dashy gets the pick, you see Slasher challenges out and gets a trade instantly. Nice stuff coming out from OpTic.
Just having a quick readjustment there, as Major Maniac does find Slasher, so Dashy might start feeling a little bit of pressure here soon. Simp hasn't found that kill. Chino does drop. TJ, Dashy, the superstars for OpTic Gaming LA in map 1. Can they clutch up a 2v3 here? Well, TJ's in a great spot. He just sees him through the crack, which he may have done, but that's unfortunate. Because now TJ left for the 1 versus 2. As soon as Dashy falls there, the round basically collapses.
I was going to say TJ had a potentially big play opportunity, but obviously as soon as Dashy's going to fall, you're in between a couple players, and TJ knew that the player in trenches is who just killed his teammate, but had no information on where Celium was going to be. So nice little bounce back round coming out from FaZe. Admittedly, not a massive round advantage that they have. And now, I want to see the 5 stack.
Well,
I want to be right at some point, Ben.
OpTic back on the attack. Looks like they're eyeing up the A site. You won't have a 5 stack defensively, though. Just a 3-2 split for Atlanta FaZe. And a 4-1 split for OpTic Gaming LA. It's going to be Slasher, as you would expect. Watching mid-map and the flank, he already finds himself in a bit of a gunfight there with aBeZy. The same gunfight which happened a few rounds prior. aBeZy found himself a first blood then, and aBeZy finds himself a first blood this round. Not the best nade, but it doesn't matter. Does get that pick onto Quavo. Advantage Atlanta FaZe.
I'm not even sure if aBeZy and Slasher were shooting at each other. It seemed like OpTic had no idea that aBeZy was going to be there. It seemed like a fairly free first kill, but either way, sniper battle to make up for it, and instantly, blink, you miss it, blink, you die. 2 headshots for Dash.
2-2 in terms of the sniper on snipe fight. More importantly, though, for OpTic Gaming LA, they find themselves a 2-man advantage. Celium and Priester against Chino, TJ, Slasher, and Dashy. I'm just checking no one's on bomb, and OpTic Gaming said, yeah, we have full control of that site, but we don't mind rotating. We got a little bit of time. Force them to come to us. A nice adjustment, and as long as they watch all the cuts, they should be fine. Priester, of course, trying to go for the wallbang. Dashy's pistol, just too strong for Priester to handle. I mean, now for the 1v4, could he maybe try and go for the wallbang? Well, the stun comes out. Dashy Just trying to be a nuisance if nothing else. Celium so weak, and it's a counter wall bang. And it finally shuts down Celium. OpTic Gaming tied up 4-4.
And I like the in-game or in-round decision from Slasher being like, hey guys, come over here. It's completely open. Come to this site, get the free plant down, and even finish it off with the nice little wall bang towards the end. And I will say, Dashy challenging Priest like that with the pistol blows my mind. I don't know how he has the confidence to do it, and then he just shreds with the pistol and win the gunfight. I'm like, oh yeah, because he's Dashy.
It's Dashy, yeah.
That's a thing.
Well, in terms of Dashy's stats, 8-5 here in game 2. Slasher also sitting at 8-5 on the flip side for Atlanta FaZe. Simp at 6-4, Priest at 7-6, Beezy 8-7. So a couple of people now starting to pull away from the pack in terms of statistical good games. A slow start though for Quavo, 1-7. Also selling him 2-5. There's Atlanta FaZe on the attack this round. Look to be eyeing up the B site, but still with the chance to cut mid-map and go to A.
I'm surprised no one from OpTic has started rotating from the A site. And as soon as you say that, all the arrows start to rotate over. Simp, though, again in the head-to-head. I think now he's up by maybe 1 against Dashy, but still FaZe don't have a ton of control over to B. You can see Priest very patient, waiting for someone to go for that mid-map flank through A.
Priest does have bomb in hand for Atlanta FaZe. The player up top, that's actually TJ. If he gets good timing here, might be in a spot to really cause some problems. He heard the door open down low, so he knows there's going to be a couple of players there, but Abizi gets himself a double before TJ can even throw the nade. Abizi does fall, but honestly, damage done. Atlanta FaZe just burst straight through into the site. Simp snipes Gino mid-map. And looks like Slasher should fall any moment now. Atlanta FaZe put themselves at map point 5-4.
Yeah, it really looked like Slideshow TJ that round did not have the most fortunate of grenades going up towards Easy, but big stuff inside the hill. And now, of course, FaZe just leaves them 1 round away from winning the game. It's been a pretty good sniper battle so far. Some pretty good strat calls so far. OpTic Gaming, this is the dig deep time. What kind of strat do we want to throw together on offense? And a mixed bag, I think, a 50-50 split so far this game between both sides.
And they've had mixed success too. Of course, one round they go to B, they get completely obliterated. The next round they win it with relative ease. Same can be said on their adventures over towards the A site. This time though, it looks as that again, if it's going to be a mid-map and B, that would really be the thorn in their side. There's the first blood, almost finds the second. Good start here for Atlanta FaZe.
And you can see Priest, he's got Celium watching his back, so he has no fear about getting shot on the side. It's really just everything up the front. As soon as he feels the pressure, he's going to back down, and again, you get the first blood. Just don't make mistakes. Group up, find pick after pick, and a BZ on the flank makes it a little bit easier.
Well, Slasher does trade out at least 1 kill there onto Celium as Quavo. You can see if he can hunt down where Priesta was. Of course, Priesta backed up massively as Simp snipes Dashy 4-2 to Simp, and more importantly, that could be a pick which seals the fate here of game 2. 3 versus 2 in Atlanta FaZe's advantage. Slasher mid-map. Is up top. Slasher does tag him up. Can't find the pick. Has retrieved bomb though, but still a lot of work to be done here for OpTic Gaming.
Still, the stun tells a Major Maniac back down the window, though. It's only one player. Quavo gets the kill. Had the help from Slasher. 2v2, and Slasher planting the bomb.
And the problem is Quavo knows he has to cover the bomb, but he gets unfortunate timing there. Simp shuts him down. Slasher did shut down one. Slasher! Up top bomb! Picked up 1. Simp thought the challenge was free. Slasher says, not a chance in hell. A beautiful 1v2 right in the nick of time. OpTic Gaming force around 11. Slasher refuses to die.
Austin Slasher Liddy Goat right now on Arcloth Peak. The last time we've seen us on the map. Dropped 16, Ben. And this time, picking up the 1v2 clutches to force the round 11. What is Slasher going to do in round 11, Ben?
I mean, what a play.
He should have pulled out the sniper.
Whoa, what a play. First blood. Oh, it's a direct trade. Couldn't really sum up that sniper fight any better if you tried. Both players drop in what has been an unreal game 2. TJ finds the pick. Of course, this could potentially put OpTic Gaming LA 2-0 up in the Florida Home Series final. Beezy shuts down Chino, though. All of a sudden, you've got yourself a 3v3.
Slasher working on the Thanos snap. The start of the round was perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Now you got the 3v3, bomb in hand of Slasher, and you do not have to rush into this.
Wouldn't surprise me if They rotated a crossover towards B. It's something that they've already done countless times this weekend. The problem is they don't have too much information and no one mid-map unless they want to try and maybe bait out a rotation towards B. Well, that's gonna put a stop to any rotation as the team nade comes through. That's unfortunate, but luckily the trade's in their favor. Now it's Celium. The 1 versus 2. TJ and Slasher up. Slasher spotted, tagged up. Good read from Celium, but can't find either kill. And with 15 seconds, Slasher has to plant the bomb. Celium in position to make a huge play here for Atlanta FaZe. Bomb planted, Slasher down, 1v1. Celium tagged up, plays his life so very well. DJ had a great 1v1 clutch in this exact scenario earlier on today. Can he produce the goods once again? Celium with 30 seconds left. DJ spots him cross. Now Celium has the information he needs. Time ticking. Players tagged. And Celium gets the pick! Celium! A huge, huge clutch from him! Just when you think OpTic Gaming LA is gonna soar up 2-0, Celium locks it down to take game 2, the Florida home series final, tied 1 map apiece.
Celium saw Slasher's 1v2 and said, anything you can do, I can do better. He saw the Iceman in the 1v1 and said, I'm the kid now. I put on the PJs. This is my house and my map. A hell of a game, Ben, and a hell of a series. I will say, as much as many caveats as I was like, OpTic, they haven't proven it yet. They look fantastic, even if they choke the 1v2 at the end.
Celium with a big smile as you'd expect, and honestly, if you're Atlanta FaZe, you look across, you say, thank you very much. A massive 1 versus 2 clutch from Celium. I just want to say, just the quality of gameplay we've had today, CDL Game Day.
But phenomenal.
It's just been incredible. In both semifinals, it was nuts, close series, and what a way to start off, again, the Florida home series final. Series tied 1-1, an incredibly close hard point. OpTic Gaming, of course, take that around 11. So it was made that much sweeter, chance for me, when both the snipers that we've been hyping up, they just trade. They just perfectly trade to start around 11. You couldn't sum that up any better. You really couldn't. We could be in for a good one here, Chance.
I think we're going to be in a great from, and I can't remember when we do the breakdown of plays of the game, but I will say the 1v2 that Celium had, by the way, the smoke placement, the kill on Slasher, and then the reset, all of that was genius. Like putting in the smoke, that way you can be the one that runs through it. I don't know if that was on purpose or if it was an accident and you just rolled with it. But either way, it was phenomenal, Ben. It really was.
Either way, the Florida home series final is heating up. Series tied 1-1. It felt like fantastic clutch after fantastic clutch. Thought for a moment Slasher had done just enough to seal the deal in game 2, but Celium says no, no, no. Not the case. Atlanta FaZe take the search. We'll be right back after this with what should be an epic game 3.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Stay connected to what matters most with the best value in wireless. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
I feel like with any gamer, like I feel like the funniest are always like when your mom needs you to do some sort of chore and you're just sitting there playing multiplayer and she's like, gotta hit the pause button, like let's go, like you gotta help me. It's like, Mom, I'm in a game, like I can't pause this, you know? She's been really supportive the past like 2 years ever since I've graduated high school. She's really helped me and like supported me all throughout the way. Like she's just done so much for me to pursue this career, and I'm really happy that like it's all worked out because like she obviously wants to feel proud, and I'm happy that like I finally made it to where I can support myself and show her that I've pursued my dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel. And from everyone here at the Call of Duty League, I want to wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your day. Hopefully you've been spoiled by all your kids out there. But in terms of our Florida home series final here, Chance, well, we're in for a good one. Series tied 1-1, OpTic versus FaZe. We mentioned it before, Chance, but I feel like we've gone back in time. It really does feel like we've gone back in time. The last time we saw these two epic franchise teams in a final was over 2 years ago. But this feels to me like we've gone all the way back to the Advanced Warfare era. It really does. Crazy game one, unbelievable game two. It had everything you wanted, the amazing snipes, the clutches. It's just a privilege to watch.
And I think the U.S. Army tactical play that we have, it's got to be the Celium 1v2.
Should be.
And again, Ben, you might have to call this out for me, but I want to know if that smoke placement was on purpose or if it just happened to go there, because the way he played around it was perfect, right? TJ does, I think, a fairly smart thing of backing up. You know you get that bomb plant down for free, but then Slasher after that plays it aggressively. Celium wins the gunfight through the smoke and then instantly uses it for cover so TJ can't get the trade. And then it turns into the straight-up 1v1 after that, where we've seen it twice. Just that series. Whoever's on the bomb site loses it. Where's the Mad Cat?
Yeah, it's a tough fight to take if you're the one on the site. Unfortunately, couldn't tell you about the smoke. We just get to see the final kill at the end. Okay. But well, what an important fight that was for Celium, and more importantly, an important clutch for Atlanta FaZe, because you tie the series up 1-1. You stop any further OpTic Gaming LA momentum that they could have got, because if they went up 2-0 in this series, Chance, I mean, number one, I'd be absolutely shocked and surprised. But at that point, I'm thinking, all right, I guess we're going to have another new champion this year.
And I also know exactly what happened, too. TJ lost that 1v1 and immediately was like, yo, ref, give us a new server. Let's test something else out, bro, because this one is clearly not cutting it. Because TJ saying, I don't lose those. But either way, he did. Sell him again. That's the reason he won the MVP. This most recent tournament that they come out with the dub. But we do go into a Hackney Yard domination, Ben. And my analysis for this map is I'm happy if on both teams. For OpTic, say screw it. If we're down, we'll hope for a weird spawn, and then we'll immediately go get that C flag back and try to run the score up.
Oh, we'll wait and see. Game 3 underway. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is the Florida home series final. Series tied 1 match apiece. He's up on board with a BZ from Atlanta FaZe. Already pushed past B flag, waiting to see if anyone from OpTic LA wants to push through the smoke. There it is. Dashi finds through, and BZ finds one. Unfortunately, I don't think he expected 2 more players to jump through the window. That's a great start from OpTic LA.
Great start from OpTic LA, but still not a ton of pressure on the flag. It's just going to be Slasher by his lonesome trying to cap it up, and he has a little bit of help outside the front. I think, yeah, there you go. The second guy hops on the flag. You're good to go, and there's the spawn out we were just talking about, Ben. FaZe in a bad spot. Here, spawn out at C. You can either go neutralize that, or you can have the setup flank over on the B site. OpTic, though, they know this, and they killed it.
Oh, yeah. Called it pretty much perfectly. A minute gone. Small advantage for OpTic Gaming LA, but they do have 2 flags to 1 advantage, which is going to be crucial for them to build up the lead. And all this seems like a perfect time to send it to an Astro Gaming listening with OpTic Gaming LA.
Okay. Bottom of Preston. Still red. Bottom of Preston. Alright, so stay loud. They're gonna be green, guys. They're gonna be spawning green. Middle of BZ there. Nice, that's 3. Let's spawning green. Try to get out of green. I'm holding Lay now, dead. Nice, good job. I'm holding green.
One's on A, guys.
I'm hopping B.
2 on A, I think.
I'm flat. Grab him back to BZ. Grab him back to I have your bottom off flank.
Green dead. Door dead.
I need the door.
Do their door. 3 their doors. I got 2. One more. 2 more.
I don't see him.
I did.
There's a door already. There's a door pressing in. He's in P1.
Dead door.
P1.
Yo, one guy's weak. Top second going in. Top second going in.
On me. Top second.
He did the door.
Another cop card.
Good shit. Keep it up.
Easy.
One guy behind me. Top L.
Top L.
Top L got me. Yeah, he's
Spawn green. Top L dead.
Nice.
They're mid-wall. Weak major.
Yeah, you got me. They're mid-wall major. Kind of deep. Oh, good.
Spawn forklift, guys. Or green, sorry.
Top AC, I need a B. B hurt by Nate.
I need top AC.
I need top AC.
Yo, one guy's green pillars on me.
I don't see him top AC. Low barrels. Two man dead. Nice. I get our trophy down.
Stack, mid stack.
And then mid stack.
They're door busy.
I have a trophy now.
There's 2 doors.
They're doing one shot P1. One shot P1.
Top AC.
P1. I got P1 and BZ. One shot.
I'm B.
Communication coming out of OpTic Gaming LA. They have themselves an 11-point lead, 41-30, with 2.5 minutes still to go. So far, very back and forth here, Chance.
Yeah, pretty good start from OpTic, but of course now you got FaZe that's just working from effectively the setup they want. OpTic again do have quite a bit of pressure up near the flag. Quavo working on the neutralization, but he doesn't feel like he has it just yet. He's got TJ though in the window for support.
TJ up top. There's a quick double for him. Two more players from Atlanta FaZe still alive down at B. And unfortunately for OpTic Gaming LA, they will lose that fight. So with 2 minutes to go in the first half, Atlanta FaZe looking to take the lead for what feels like the first time here in the first half. Unless DJ has anything to say about it. I'll shut down Simp and again hops to B flag. Meanwhile, pressure coming over towards A. It's going to be Dashy. If Dashy can just bait out Priesta to come and take an unfavorable fight, maybe, just maybe, OpTic Gaming could build themselves a sizable lead to close out the half with.
And I would say Dashy's doing a great job of distracting players on FaZe, but he's really not. It's just the one-on-one that's happening over on the A side of things, and frankly, it's an advantage to FaZe because you can just wait for Dashy to hop the flag, but Dashy makes the play and gets the kill on Priesta, and now FaZe really has to pay close attention to the A flag.
And Quavo has a crucial job there. He won that 1v1, and potentially Dashy's job would have been that much easier. Unfortunately for Quavo, he's unable to do so, but he did draw resources, like you said, over towards that side of the map. The problem for OpTic Gaming LA is we approach the final minute. Is C has been capped up by Atlanta FaZe, and now they're collapsing, pinching in over towards B. OpTic Gaming LA will have to make the decision. It wouldn't surprise me if last player off spawn maybe backtracks towards C, but the spawns are all over the place at this point. They surge forward. They're going to look over towards A, while Slasher is trying to defend B. He has a 1v2. No way he wins that. Celium shuts him down. Here's a look at the overhead, and with 47 seconds left, a 68 to 63 point game. If you're OpTic Gaming, push over towards C. Play the decap if you can. The problem, though, is Atlanta FaZe, they're everywhere on the map.
Yeah, less about control, more about making a last-ditch effort play on a flag to try to get the neutral. So I would say if OpTic ever gets a spawn near C, immediately just go ahead and hop on it. But if not, do the best job you can. Get the neutral or the cap over towards the B side of things. It just depends on what spawn that the spawn gods give you.
Well, the final 19 seconds, Atlanta FaZe do take the lead, and we will have that lead going into the second half. Again, we really couldn't ask for a closer game in the Florida Home Series final, and just closer games all day. Honestly, with where we stand now, today may be one of the best days in Florida esports for quite some time in terms of quality of gameplay. It really has been tremendous as Chino finds the final pick of the first half. We go into the second half with Atlanta FaZe 82, OpTic Gaming LA 76. Any adjustments, Chance, you feel that either team need to make heading into that second half from what you saw there in the first half?
Adjustments? No, not really. I mean, I think if I'm OpTic, I'm pretty happy. Even though you're down by 6, now you get the good side off the rip. Like, they went to the bad side. They had a fantastic opening break, and they tried to hold on to B for as long as they could, working from the C side of things. Eventually, it's just going to happen. That FaZe will eventually stabilize and get the AB flag set up. But again, 6 points, effectively a tie game. If OpTic has a good opening break, they're going to be in a great spot.
Wait and see. Buddy's on the B flag already. Priest managed to slide out undetected. He puts pressure on B instantly. Wins the first, wins the second. Priesta making the plays. And Atlanta FaZe may get some B control.
And that's just OpTic again. I think maybe, I wouldn't say not hesitant enough, honestly. You got 2 guys on B, you're shooting through the smoke, you don't get any hit markers, but just hold the angle. You give it up for a moment, Priesta goes big, and the opening break you needed to have. Now look at what FaZe has done to the map. They have the AB set up into any potential of the good spot OpTic could have been in, just suffocated, pulled out from under them.
Well, mentioned maybe a good start. That's not going to be the case here. OpTic Gaming LA instead, a great start here for Atlanta FaZe. How long, though, can they keep this pressure up? A minute gone in the second half, and OpTic Gaming is starting to get a few kills.
To get a few kills, but again, you got to get the ball rolling. You don't have really any map control at all, and maybe a couple kills over towards B, but just look at the swarm that FaZe has. You got Priest going on flanks, 3 kills for him. If someone's on the B flag, they'd have died if his teammates didn't kill it for him, so it is not an easy situation to be in anymore for OpTic. I said they could have been happy with it after the half. They cannot be happy any longer. Might only be 14 points, but that is a tough spot for them to be in.
Most definitely is. 3.5 minutes still to go. Simp going big inside B. He's found himself 2 kills, almost found himself a few more, but Selim there to clean up Chino. And Chino got himself a double. Atlanta FaZe again hold on to B. Just over 3 minutes to go. And you need to see OpTic Gaming LA shift into a new gear here, Chance, because that lead is just growing and growing here for Atlanta.
And I need to see a team push. They're finally starting to group up together to make a move all at once. They got everybody stacked up in L, and this is the moment. You're trying to set it up. You got to get the break, but you see the kill feed. FaZe for the moment coming out on top.
Nice little flank from TJ, but it's only good enough to find one. Maniac watching mid-map, trades that out very, very quickly. Finally, some numbers inside B once again, but Simp deals with it once again. He gets himself a double. Slasher and Chino. Everything OpTic Gaming LA are throwing at Atlanta FaZe. They are answering with relative ease.
And you got to set up again. You got to have a good team push. But again, you're looking at defeat. OpTic are effectively getting spawn trapped by Selim by himself for a brief moment over towards green. But now maybe because of spawns, the team push gets dictated for you. You got 3 players in and around L. They find that first kill. This is the moment. This is where they need to get that B flag.
Yeah, they're running out of time. And Selim, he gets himself a double. The trade has to come through, but it doesn't. And now the reinforcement, the cavalry there for Atlanta FaZe. But how much can they get the job done? Finally, pressure over towards B. Priest shoots 2 players in the back, and Atlanta FaZe have managed to at least keep the B hill neutral. They've done a fantastic job, and what was once a very, very close game 3, now spiraling out of control for OpTic LA. 143-111 with just shy of 2 minutes to go. Still, it's Atlanta with a 2-1 flag advantage, and if we don't see a break here soon, Chance, game 3's done and dusted.
Yeah, and you're going to need the triple cap or at least a neutralization on that 3rd flag for OpTic to have any hope of winning this game. Keep in mind, this is all off the back of just basically the opening break. And when Priest just walks through by himself on the B flag, picks up 2 big kills. 5 seconds later, FaZes flip the spawn. They get to AB cap. And ever since then, that's what they've held the entire time.
Now Atlanta FaZe looking to maybe just pinch in over towards B once again. Finally, OpTic get B, but it took them 4 minutes essentially to finally get control of the flag.
And they have to triple cap now. They have to.
Problem is they're losing C, so Quavo goes back to deal with that. We're looking at perfect Call of Duty play. Has to decap and try and cap as quick as he can, but unfortunately for him, there's Atlanta FaZe numbers over there, and it feels like the job is just a little too much now for OpTic Gaming LA to do. And again, it's important to reiterate, after the first half, it was a crazy close game. You felt good for OpTic Gaming. Going into the second half, favorable side off the rip, and Atlanta FaZe just didn't give B up at all. An incredible hold for such a long period of time.
And again, you have to go back to the big moment. Like, when you're playing Call of Duty, you're going to make every individual player a dozen mistakes, let's say, in a given map. They're all going to be little tiny things you could have done slightly better. It's just the nature of Call of Duty. But the 2 biggest mistakes I think we've really seen this series, it's been, what, the Priest getting the 2 kills and the spawn flips at the start of this half, and then maybe Major Maniac breaking through the spawns on the P2 hill all the way back in his Azir cave. Other than that, both of these teams have been just toe-to-toe, barn burner of a series, but still, you have to be damn near perfect to beat FaZe, and OpTic obviously did not have that level of success in the domination.
That's a little unfortunate for them, but for Atlanta FaZe, they now go 2-1 up in the Florida Home Series final with a 170-149 win here in Game 3. And I believe, if memory serves, the final 2 maps are both St. Petro. So it does go Game 5, St. Petro Surge, but up next, St. Petro Hardpoint. And statistically, Chance, is there anything that jumps out on that map specifically?
I'll go back to roughly the same analysis that I think was more accurate for Azir Cave. It's nice to play a map where you can have an extra AR, at least on certain hills for St. Petra or St. Peter Griffin, whatever it's called. So I think if Chino is able to pull it out, at least for like off the rip, maybe 1 or 2 hills, maybe that extra level of comfortability will pay off dividends for them. But realistically, we don't know what to expect really for OpTic Gaming, what they're going to bring to the table, because we're not there every single day with them in the scrim. So it'll be a great indication to find out against FaZe, though.
Celium ended game 2 with a 1v2 clutch. He ends game 3 30-19. Top performer in the lobby. A great little performance out of him. And of course, all the momentum seems now to be shifting towards Atlanta FaZe.
And of course, Atlanta FaZe are looking to be the second team on the year to have multiple championship wins throughout the thing, to join the Dallas Empire in that regard. And of course, OpTic Gaming, they're looking for a couple things. Confidence, which I think they would have found by now. The ability to beat the best teams in the game, which remains to be seen. But I will say, again, a hell of a series so far. They obviously have improved quite a bit since the roster change that they made. And, well, maybe they can also get a win themselves if they have St. Petrograd, Jesus, as their new home.
And let's not forget just how important CDL points are going to be for OpTic Gaming LA. They were really down at the bottom of the leaderboard trying to climb their way up. Of course, for Atlanta FaZe, they could, I believe, re-solidify themselves as #1 in the leaderboards. And to your point, joined Dallas Empire with 2 championships under their belt on the year. They've looked great. They've obviously shown signs of weaknesses, but they find themselves here in the Florida home series final, 2-1 up, going into the next game, Hardpoint, where I think your analysis is pretty much spot on, Chance. The addition of Chino, it may not necessarily be the flashy thing. Obviously, we spoke to Nameless before the final. It's not, oh, you know, he's putting up so many big numbers. Not necessarily about that, but just more how comfortable it could make not only himself in that role, but the team in general. But if you are just tuning in and you're enjoying the great grand final we have on our hands here between Atlanta FaZe and OpTic Gaming LA, we'll take a look at the bracket just to remind everyone how both these two teams got here, because it's I know, Chance, you kind of mentioned it, for OpTic Gaming LA, wasn't by any means the toughest journey, but they got the job done.
I mean, look, every team has to beat who's in front of them. OpTic has done a fantastic job of that so far, but this has been one of the weaker tournaments. If you don't have Chicago, if you don't have Dallas, it's just generically going to be at least a slightly weaker group. So the highest seed of a team they've beaten has been the Paris Legion so far, who are in the 6th spot. They trade series against the Ravens. So again, it has not been a tournament where OpTic has looked completely clean. They have shown weaknesses. They have been beat. They've just looked quite a bit better, and that's why I've been harping on it since the moment 1 of this cast of this is the real test to see exactly where they stand out. And now this is a great deal of diversity for them. It's not fun being against FaZe, being down 2-1 in the series, and we can see how OpTic handles it and tries to bounce back.
Of course, both these two teams started off the Florida home series in Group B. And unfortunately, didn't get to see them play against each other there, mainly because OpTic Gaming lost relatively early and Atlanta FaZe didn't lose. Then, of course, on the opposite side of the bracket going into today's games. And epic game 5s from both lead us to the Florida home series final. But St. Petro, Hardpoint, about to get underway. Game 4. Is this where Atlanta FaZe close it out, claim their 2nd home series championship of the year, join the likes of Dallas Empire with 2 under their belt, or is it where OpTic Gaming force another Game 5 on the day?
At the very least, let's just hope that it's going to be a close one, Ben. And also, again, and just kind of generically keeping in the back of my mind what weapon Chino is going to be running. Because, yes, I know he's been running the MP5 a ton, but still, when I think Chino, generally I think of more of an AR player. So we'll see what they can pull off here, Ben.
Leaves an AR off the start. In fact, quick glance was enough, but early advantage in favor of OpTic Gaming LA, just based off where they spawn, of course. We'll have the hill control, but keep your eye on that minimap. Again, that far right-hand side going to be crucial. If OpTic Gaming can hold that, not allow Atlanta FaZe to break through, the spawns for P2 going to be a lot easier. And you have to think, build yourself as big of a lead as you possibly can here, Chance. Try and make this game as easy as you can. And let Atlanta FaZe come to you.
And just for a bit of a small detail off the rip, as OpTic gets off to a nice early lead, OpTic basically left open the entire top side of the map, and if any player had gotten through, then that could have been bad news for them. But the one player that tried to creep through mid, Slasher killed him immediately. So at the very least for OpTic, they'll be able to stabilize, hold spawns for the rotation. Admittedly, though, FaZe is going to effectively tie up the game, if not take the lead after P1 finishes.
We talk about players trying to sneak through. Priest have tried it there, unsuccessful. However, Atlanta FaZe will claim the scrap time, if you will, on our P1 hill, and they'll take the lead as well. But it is OpTic Gaming LA with full spawn control, and waiting to try and turn P2 into a money hill.
And again, worth mixing and matching. Chino again had the opening break, M4 in hand, now is switched to the MP5, so again, just something to slightly keep in the back of your mind. But either way, OpTic with the favorable spawns inside the hill for the moment. A big gunfight gets won by Slasher inside of the hill, and you see OpTic, honestly, fairly stable. FaZe, there is one player near the hill. That's going to be Simp. He just needs to wait for his team, who's so far not really that close.
Yep, but this would be the break coming through. It's Slasher still inside the hill for OpTic Gaming LA. Has a lot of work to do, and really not actually able to clean that kill up. OpTic should be good to defend and should be good to hold. 25 seconds left. You may want to consider the rotation to come through soon, and well, this seems like a perfect time to listen in to Atlanta FaZe, our Astro Gaming listening.
One shot. Smoked out right. Smoke dead.
I spawned left.
I'm about to go top kitchen. I stun him right. Get new time. Spawn mid. Spawn mid. Go get new time. Top blue and right. Top blue and right. I'm backing up and holding mid. Or holding track.
I got one.
I spawned mid. Tracks on me back.
Water.
You go stairs?
There's two water. Yeah, in the stairs. Mid.
Stairs done. Two mid.
Guys, hold court for me.
Make sure we get court control.
I have your core.
They can hit your tunnel. Yeah, they can hit your left.
I have tunnel. One tunnel dead.
I'm holding top down.
Nice. I need a hole.
I have your left street.
Top has. I hear him.
Left street, got me.
Two left,
going back door now.
I have your back door in a second.
No, left.
Middle. Two. I got one. One more. Watch out.
There's 24. Tracks. Hold me.
You can take out left, Chris. I spawn BSD. They might spawn them back. I spawn BSD.
No. As long as I can.
Yeah, I tunnel.
Bottom kitchen. Water street.
I killed one.
He's gonna go top kitchen.
Water street.
Another one. Two more mid. Nice. I got one more. One shot.
Press
Clear light.
Back blue.
No, yeah,
I can't kill that guy.
He's on the car still.
Watch your cam if you die.
Side door.
Watch your cam if you die. Watch your cam.
Holding him.
I'm holding it. Top door and side door.
Two in. One dead. I'm holding.
Slasher lead the way for OpTic Gaming LA, 12-7. And OpTic looking to tie it up once again and take control of this game. 77-77. Plenty of time on the new hill.
And I will say, FaZe, obviously a fantastic team, great communication. That's the first time in a long time I've heard a team guess where the spawns are coming in from the other team and get it wrong like 3 times before eventually they figure it out. So just a weird little thing. Hashtag St. Petrograd, you know, throwing that in the mix. But either way, inside of the pool hall right now, FaZe has done a phenomenal job on the rotation to retake the lead and potentially extend it by quite a bit, because OpTic are getting decimated on their way to the hill.
Yeah, Priest so well just to stay alive. Dashy looks to try and contest. Priest with the instant trade. There's TJ soaring in as well. Should surely fall. The stun should be enough. Chino cleans it up, but you're fighting over the final 13 seconds. Atlanta FaZe don't have full control over New just yet. And it's going to be OpTic Gaming LA first to the party. And they retake the lead at the question.
Take the lead. Well, this is the moment. Quavo inside the hill. He's got the teammates and the smokes just to make it confusing. Hill's contested. Quavo doesn't really know what side it's going to be coming from. Now he knows that the players have run upstairs, and his job is just to wait. But while that's happening, Major Maniac, the challenge from the outside. Quavo by himself, waiting for his teammates to come support him.
Yeah, he feels the pressure there. Has to just back away. He needs to wait a little bit of time before his teammates can contest him and maybe try and cherry pick a kill or two. Unfortunately for him, Celium outplays him a tad and he'll get himself 2. Again, we're going to try and break 107-107. 28 seconds left on the final hill of our first rotation. And again, very much like game 1 was, back and forth.
You just got the perfect timing from Simp. Actually, he baited a BZ out a little bit as Quavo was able to find one kill, but FaZe right now just trying to bunny hop to victory. By the way, as great of a game as I thought Slasher was having, Simp right now, 21-8, just hanging out on the map.
Hey man, gonna try and set a record on a different map other than Azure Cave. I think you're on St. Petra. I mean, at this pace, you'll be not far away. As we go into our second rotation now, it's again OpTic Gaming with the early advantage, but keep your eye on Slasher. He falls. Maybe to spotted out Priesta, which was almost the identical situation to what we had in our first rotation, and maybe OpTic Gaming LA would have been able to stabilize. Instead, the pinch is going to inevitably come through. They still have to deal with Priesta just to control the spawns, and that pressure mid-map is going to be consistent from Atlanta FaZe with 30 seconds to go.
And you can see a couple players on FaZe actually wrapping back to double down on the hill. 30 seconds left. That is time absolutely worth fighting for. Simp, the man, leading the charge now for his team. You can see Priest is there for the help, but Slasher takes down the help, and Simp, again, just happy to hang out and let his teammates do the dirty work for him. He's going to secure the last bit of hill time, while now you got a BZ, the man that's trying to be annoying towards the spawns of OpTic.
And you kind of feel like this is the crucial part in the game here for OpTic Gaming LA to just stabilize once again. maybe stop a bit of the bleeding, because in terms of the kills, it's all Atlanta FaZe. That kill feed white for the most part. Unfortunately, team kills start coming in here as well for OpTic Gaming LA. They have to just stop the Atlanta momentum. This is what Atlanta do so well, is they just take games which are so close and just blow them out at periods, and they're so good at doing exactly that. Slasher, though, inside the hill for OpTic Gaming LA with 45 seconds still to go. Selling will fall as well. Is it his turn now to go on a bit of a spree? That's 2 in a row. Unfortunately, trophy in hand, he will surely fall. Priesta challenges. Priesta with the double. Atlanta FaZe breakthrough.
Yeah, well, Chino, though, still inside the hill, and his teammates are going to be close to the spawns. You can see that the break might happen, but the close spawns are going to be the saving grace right now for OpTic. FaZe are potentially thinking about maybe one more attempt to go for the break, because if they don't, OpTic obviously will be able to take the lead, and this is it. This is the moment. They're trying to get into the hill. Priesta, though, you see him get cut down, and all that push does is take maybe 3 seconds away from OpTic, who will succeed in taking the lead.
Don't underestimate how important that was for OpTic Gaming. Yes, they tied the game up. Now, it's essentially, can you break into Hazmat as quick as possible? Can you put the pressure back on Atlanta FaZe? You cannot give them a full 60, and a few kills go their way. That's 3 to be precise, so maybe this is the opening they need.
Opening they need, and again, you got to make sure the rotations are on point, but OpTic pretty much all flooding up through the river side of things, and Simp again hanging out, waiting for his teammates to give him the information before he strikes. Priesta only able to find one. Simp actually gets team killed, and it might be the break that OpTic needs if Ibizi just doesn't go and shut everyone on the map down.
Yeah. Kill comes through. He says, my bad. Don't worry, I'll make up for it. Instantly, 3 kills under his belt. 25 seconds left of this hill before OpTic Gaming may have to rotate to pool hole. The problem is Major Maniac. He is top blue and looking to cause problems here for OpTic LA. Quavo, of course, inside the new hill. He's going to be joined by one player from Atlanta FaZe. That didn't last long. Ibizi falls. Now, pressure back on OpTic LA after not being able to break through. Need to have a good hold here on pool hole to put themselves back in the driver's seat of this game.
And not super difficult to have a good hold on pool hall, even if it is FaZe going up again. So I'm looking at potentially the next hill probably to decide it all. But of course, OpTic, they still have to force it there. They still need to get the kills, and you got Chino locking down river side of things. Job well done. Now FaZe has to readapt and put all the pressure in the front.
And this is where TJ has a big job to do. Needs to at least find a couple of kills if he can. Trophies going off. Priesta with a double in the kill feed. Now TJ with so much to do. Does he have the support there in time? Well, it's Quavo who's one shot. Ibizi shuts him down. Chino from mid-street has an effect into the fight, but Atlanta have broken through. They cannot win it here, but they could maybe, just maybe, put it out of reach.
Brought all that time, but OpTic quick on the attack, back inside the hard point. But you see Ibizi, you know he's one shot. You know he just got hit by 17 stuns and nades and a couple bullets, but he's alive. The perfect break, making this game potentially much easier for FaZe to try to close down. They'll be about 5 points away from the win, and now it really comes down to it for OpTic. If you want to force the game number 5, you have to be perfect.
This is not going to be easy for OpTic Gaming LA. Do they have what it takes? And Quavo outside, he'll find one. Bear in mind, just 5 points. All Atlanta FaZe will need. OpTic Gaming LA cannot win here, so they'll need to think about the rotation, but they have to hold already. It looks like Atlanta FaZe trying to break through. The contest is going to need to come in very quickly. Slasher slides in somehow, some way. OpTic still in this as they break once again. 2 points needed for Atlanta FaZe on board with Simp. Can he be the difference maker? It looks like he's going to play it smart, wait for his teammates. Unfortunately, they're already tagged up, so may have to reevaluate how he wants to try and break through.
Trying to set up the pinch right now. His teammates mid-map died. Everyone coming through the back door. Simp by himself up top. He slides in, can only find one, and the kill feed stays green on the left side. OpTic still in it now, but look at the rotation. Everyone for FaZe set up to new.
You need a miracle kill feed here if you're OpTic Gaming.
Number 7, no, number 7 killed him. Number 7 killed him at the old hill. Won the one-on-one gunfight in the final moments, and with 3 seconds left on the point, steals the game from OpTic, who were thinking we gotta rotate, which is correct, but you gotta win the gunfights in the hills, so Atlanta steals it away.
Celium making the big play at the end of game 4. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. Atlanta FaZe, your Florida home series champions. They get their 2nd championship under their belt on the year. But overall, Chance, what a great showing from all the teams today. I think we've seen a big improvement for a lot of teams, or a big question mark in the league.
I was going to say, just a genuinely fantastic week of Call of Duty.
Great.
I think all 3 series today were bangers from top to bottom. Pretty much every single map. Like, I don't know if we had even like a single map blowout.
Nope.
Really the entire time. Maybe I'll eat my words, but at the very least, the grand finals, OpTic absolutely turned up, rose to the occasion, and hey, you know, it's the 1v2 in the round 11 sort of thing. You don't give that away, and we do see a map 5, and who knows how it goes, but that's why Call of Duty can be heartbreaking at times.
It definitely can. Congratulations once again to Atlanta FaZe, the victors, the champions of this weekend's game and or gameplay. I think many people coming into this weekend, Chance, had them as number 1.
As expected.
So they do kind of come out as a community expected, but I feel like they were challenged maybe a lot more than they themselves would have thought, considering the likes of for Dallas not here, Chicago Huntsman not here. Overall, definitely tested.
Yeah, this tournament is the moment where I think it's like been absolutely proven that most of the teams in the league now have caught up. We are finally at a point where it is going to be hyper competitive from now until the end of the year. I don't know exactly when that switch happened. I know it's been slowly encroaching on us, but we are absolutely here. It is the halfway point of the year, and we have, I mean, honestly, had like 9, 10 teams we think could feasibly win a tournament if they just put it together on the right weekend.
Yep, and again, to reiterate, the CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel, in terms of just the games and the quality, was insane. OpTic Gaming Ultra, that was a game 5, 3-2. Advantage OpTic Gaming. Then you look at the bottom side, Atlanta FaZe versus the New York Subliners, another game 5 there. Atlanta pushed through. The final didn't quite go the distance, but for a moment there, I thought maybe it would. OpTic Gaming LA just not able to get the job done, and as you called out perfectly, Chance, a late push from Celium just fights over the scrap time, wins the gunfight, and more importantly, wins not only the map, but the championship as well. And with that said, it brings up an interesting question. I'm curious to get your thoughts. Power ranking is something we're always asked to do, but more specifically, just at the very, very top. Is this enough now for you to put Atlanta FaZe as the number 1 team in the league?
Well, okay, the thing about power rankings for me is like the most important tournament we have of the year is champs, right? So I've always looked at it from day number 1 of what team do I think long-term is going to sit up the top. And in that case, yes, I still think Atlanta FaZe is the number 1 team in the league. That being said, at this moment in time, Dallas obviously has a phenomenal argument. Like, it's going to change so much day to day that's why I always look at the thing as more of an average over time. And yeah, I think instinct says I think FaZe is still the number 1 team.
Feels like maybe you could make the argument for joint first, if nothing else, just based off the statistics there of both teams with 2 championships under their belt so far. But Atlanta FaZe, again, tested, but they hold strong, and they take the Florida home series final. And in terms of Atlanta FaZe's just game style and just gameplay in general, I know you've talked a lot about their search and destroy. It seems like that could be the key to success throughout the year. We'll wait and see, of course. But that's going to be everything from myself and Chance. We're going to a quick commercial break. When we return, though, we got Lottie with Sim.